Hola, and welcome to the Renaissance Empress, a digital casita for multi-passionate peeps who want to feel uncontained as they navigate their self-mastery journey through an integrated lens of mysticism and entrepreneurship. My name is Vicky, and I am a strategist, storyteller, and Gen Xer from Alphabet City. Some days you'll find me writing or working with private clients, and other days I'm either taking a nap or plotting road trips. Lately, I've been intrigued with photography, and I am obsessed with Miami. So depending on when you're listening to this long-winded intro, I may or may not be a proper snowbird. Something to remember as you listen to this podcast: my Aquarius ascendant is very anti-conformity, but my Libra moon still wants to be liked. So I have a temperamental relationship with social media. I also advocate against a lot of the sales psychology tactics that are often weaponized in hustle culture. I support growth, but not conscious hypocrisy. I understand that we are all forced to participate in capitalism, but that is not a free pass to monetize without integrity. What can you expect from this podcast? As you can see, I take an unapologetic approach to soulful entrepreneurship. My lane is me, and my lived experiences offer an often snarky take on how to make magic in a constantly shifting world. It's why I say I'm a sometimes bruja but always quirky, because to shine and thrive requires a mutable attitude to accommodate the ways in which we change our perspectives with new information. I touch on mysticism, pop culture, social issues, and entrepreneurship, either one at a time or all together. It depends on my mood and how much coffee I've had to drink. Even on a good day, I can be a hot mess. So if you need some time this week to embrace your imperfect self, consider this podcast a sacred space where we can secretly be unhinged together. Don't forget to peep VickyAyala.com, where you can learn more about working with me, hop on the Inbox Conversations weekly newsletter, or shop my little quirky bodega for the books and decks I create to help you make magic. I look forward to seeing you on the other side of this podcast. Hola, and welcome to Pisces season. Today's episode is for both the sun season of Pisces and the new moon in Pisces. I'm kind of biased because this is my solar birthday season, and if there's anyone who knows what it means to live in La La Land, it's me. I kind of created this framework to use the astrological seasons with your brand strategy. Each house represents something you can focus on during those seasons as you work your hustle. Now, this framework doesn't matter what your personal chart looks like. I've made it so that the framework is pretty generic and evergreen, so that those who know nothing about mysticism can still work with it. So with Pisces ruling the 12th house, let's do a quick 101 on what that means. Pisces is co-ruled by Jupiter in traditional astrology, and then Neptune in modern astrology. The way I look at it, when a sign has two rulers, they are in a co-parenting situation. Both are equally influential, but they do come with different approaches to rulership because they're different in nature. Jupiter, which also rules Sagittarius, is all about expansion and amplification. It is the largest planet in our solar system. It's got something like 92 moons. It's big. Everything about Jupiter is grand in scale. It takes up all of the space, unapologetically. Maybe that's why it's far from the sun. It's not as big as the sun, though. For context, Jupiter is about 87,000 miles wide, or the circumference, and the sun is a little under 433,000. So while Jupiter doesn't match the scope of the sun, it is prominent still in its presence. Now juxtapose this with Neptune, which comes in at around 30,600 miles. Smaller, but the densest of the larger planets. And it looks blue, which makes sense for Pisces because where else would fishes thrive but in water? I bring these up because Jupiter is expansion and Neptune is dense. For the sake of this conversation, when I say dense, I mean like a fog. When there's a fog, visibility is low. It's cloudy. You can't see too far ahead. When driving, dense fog can be dangerous conditions to navigate. You don't know if there's a car coming at you in the same lane. Ideally, you maneuver with caution. You put your fog lights on and hope that others are being responsible about driving in such dense, foggy conditions. Now, Jupiter blows up whatever it touches, not in an explosion kind of way, but in an exaggeration kind of way. If Jupiter goes through your money house, it can increase spending or increase income. It doesn't assign judgment as to what's right or wrong. Its job is to simply magnify whatever energy you latch onto. A quick disclaimer, check-in, all of this is one-on-one stuff. If you want a more in-depth analysis, please consult with a reputable astrologer. The way I use astrology is from a general perspective in order to understand how to identify opportunities. Nothing more, nothing less. So now Jupiter and Neptune influence Pisces differently, but come with a similar approach to rulership. The common denominator for both is intuition. Jupiter strengthens your intuition because if you allow yourself to trust your inner knowing, Jupiter will expand on that. Neptune clouds what you can visibly see, so you have to trust your inner voice. Now, how do you apply this to Pisces season? How does this resonate with those who aren't inherently tapped into their intuition? During Pisces season, your intuition can serve as a gift. So when you outline intentions, use this new moon transit to sharpen the gifts that you have within that you don't see. New moon in Pisces is about innovating your beliefs. What do you believe to be true? How are those beliefs serving you? Do you need to evolve the stories you tell yourself? Are you invested in beliefs that are no longer in alignment with the vision you have? When we are creating brand strategies, we tend to overemphasize the left brain work. The structures we put in place, the systems we may or may not have, and the logical reasoning for why we do what we do. So much of the hustle is driven by a conscious awareness, the part of our mind that processes reason and practical solutions. Because if X, then Y, right? Pisces season is a time to retreat from that, so you can reconnect with the parts that are definitely there, but somewhere hidden behind that dense fog. Jupiter lends a manifestation quality to Pisces. But when you are not in touch with the magic of your hidden self, then what are you really manifesting? For most of you, I don't need to tell you what to do. Everyone's journey is different. And I'm more than confident that you know what needs to be done. You're either looking for permission to do it or guidance with leading yourself into the fog. During this new moon in Pisces, find courage in discomfort. We tend to lean away from those emotions that aren't pleasant. And if there's a sign that makes disassociation a career, it's Pisces. We get a reputation for being unrealistic. But what if reality needs to be reimagined? We get chastised for having our heads in the clouds. But what if we need to daydream a new world in order to bring it into form? Booze is often associated with the energy of Pisces, but they don't call it spirits for no reason. Use this season to remember that you are a spirit having a human experience. Your brand is an extension of your magic, and your business is a reflection of your purpose. The imprint you leave informs the world who you are. Pisces season is a reminder that who you are is ethereal and beyond comprehension. You are dynamic. You don't need to fit in a box. So why are you conforming your creative expression to accommodate the people invested in your mediocrity? Pisces season is your permission slip to be expansive with your intuition. Use that energy wisely. Side note, Pisces is immutable energy, which means it goes with the flow and changes form whenever and however many times it needs to. So you are not being indecisive. You are embracing mutability, if that's even a word. Don't be afraid to reinvent, reimagine, or reframe whatever is no longer supporting your growth. Until next time.